the second round of the V8 Supercars Championship, and we've crossed Bass Strait to Symmons Plains. Hi there, I'm Ben Beasley from Speedcafe.com. Let's check out what's happening here today, Thursday, the setup day for the V8 Supercars. Since Adelaide, there was the Grand Prix event. No championship points were up for offer, but one of the best teams, probably the best team, was from Team BAC, Jason Bright and Brad Jones Racing. Brighty, really good turnaround at the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I feel as though we've had the pace all year. We had the pace at the test. Adelaide, we had good pace, just didn't put it all together. Fabian and I both had a bit of a shocker there, but the Grand Prix was sort of back to form, and I was really happy to see both cars 1 and 2 on the grid and 1 and 2 for the weekend.
Coming down to Tassie, can you carry that form here?
I think so. I mean, I think the cars are just strong at the moment. We're sort of very mindful of the fact that everyone's going to be improving at a pretty big rate for the first 6 months with these Car of the Future, and we've just got to make sure that we're improving at equal or better rate than everyone else. But I don't see why that wouldn't be the case either, because we've done less testing than anyone at this stage. So I think that we've still got a lot to come from the cars. We've just got to make sure that we're finding it.
Real quick lap times around here. The field is closest here, and probably Perth are obviously the closest terms in qualifying. What do you need to do just to make sure you're at the front or closer towards the front than the back?
Well, that's the thing, you don't have to slip up much. You've got to have everything right. There's no doubt that even if you are the quickest car here, if you don't have a good qualifying session, it's going to be a pretty tough weekend. Fortunately, we've seen to have more qualifying sessions than anything, with a qualifying session for each race. But it's going to make qualifying very important. Not a lot of tyres to sort of throw out at every qualifying session. So, it's going to make qualifying pretty tough. But fortunately, here you get 3 or 4 laps out of a set of greens to sort of get a lap time out of it. But it's one of the tougher ones with traffic and everything, so it'll mix it up a bit.
Coming off the Easter break, while everybody else was enjoying chocolate eggs, you're in the south of France in a pretty special car and something to really look forward to, and not too far off.
No, I mean, I was very lucky to go over to France in the couple of weeks we had off, and drove the Ferrari that I'll be racing at Le Mans in a couple of months' time. It was the only test that I'm going to get in the car before Le Mans. The car will actually be doing a couple of World Endurance rounds before we get to Le Mans. It was a good car. It was competitive. It's run by the Gun Ferrari Team AF course. So I'm really happy with how it all went. It was a little bit rain affected, but fortunately we still got enough laps in the dry to get a pretty good feel. And good feel, does that give you anything for this weekend? I don't think it sort of helps with these cars. No doubt driving more often and driving different cars, I think that always does help. I don't think there's much I can learn from that to bring here though, but doesn't hurt to stay sharp.
The winner of the Saturday race last year was Will Davison from Ford Performance Racing, and Will, you'd love to get another victory, maybe 2 or 3 victories this weekend.
Yes, different format this weekend to what we normally see here in Tasmania. So normally it's obviously quite a short track. Track position crucial, pit stops and strategy crucial. That's all out of the window this weekend. We've got the sprint format, so we're all obviously focusing hard on adapting to these changes and still focusing hard on adapting to the new car this year. And we've got off to a solid start this year. Obviously we definitely want more out of the car, and that's what we've been focusing on the last few weeks, is working on our weaknesses. And pretty happy hunting ground for me and for FPR here. So it's a clean sheet of paper though this weekend, but we're feeling pretty confident.
The big talk is this 60-60 format race. Not so much that it's got a half-time in it, but the restart's going to be a double file restart. We've seen it in American style racing for many, many years, but not in this country.
Yeah, it is different. I mean, a lot of us haven't done rolling starts for probably since we were in go-karts, so it's obviously done all around the world on ovals. Not that common to be done on road circuits, so particularly in a sprint format, maybe in endurance racing where people are very clean and staying out of trouble, but there's not going to be any of that in our racing. I mean, when we've got no pit stops and a short amount of time to make up time, that's the best time to do it. So particularly around a tight, twisty track like this, I'm sensing there's going to be some pretty crazy antics, so you're obviously going to have to be aggressive, but you're going to have to use your head, and it's going to be pretty exciting.
Easy to say that, isn't it?
Much easier said than done. Like I said, there's going to be some upset teams and some upset drivers and a few tears, I believe, but at the end of the day, we've just got to adapt to the changes that are thrown at us, and you know, this is one exciting aspect of what they've changed in our race formats this year, so let's hope someone enjoys it.
And also, not a lot of time to get these things packed up at the end of the weekend to head overseas next week.
Yeah, back-to-back weekends here to New Zealand next weekend, so I know a lot of our guys are staying Sunday night to sort of do some preparation on the cars. Such a quick turnaround, so let's hope all the panels are straight after these sprint races, which are going to be fast, furious and pretty aggressive. So you know, as a driver, I love back-to-back. It's cool. We get on the plane Tuesday to NZ, back to Pukekohe, you know, a real driver's track. So I'm obviously looking forward to 2 weekends on the road.
Let's check out the track times for this weekend's action. Gets underway on Friday with the first practice session from 11 a.m, practice 2, which is also 30 minutes from 12:15. Then the final practice for Friday is 30 minutes from 1:30 p.m. On to Saturday in practice 4, which is the final practice session of the weekend, gets underway at 9:35. Qualifying then for 20 minutes from 11:50, then the 60-60 split race getting underway at 2:45. So that's 25 laps is the first part, then a quick half-time period, and then they go again from 3:38. On to Sunday, and that's right, there is 2 qualifying sessions for each of the 2 races on the Sunday. So the first qualifying session, which is 15 minutes, starts at 10 minutes past 10. Then qualifying 2, which is for the second race, 10:35. The first 42 lap race, or 100 kilometres, is from 2:05, and then the final race of the weekend, another 42 laps from 4:30. Now here's the 7 telecast details for the weekend, and they are different across the country. So in Sydney you'll see all the action on the Saturday on 7/2. In Melbourne it's on 7 Mate. Brisbane is on the main 7 network. Adelaide on 7 Mate, as is Perth. Please check all your local guides always for these times. Across to Sunday, and then the 7 network will be showing the V8 Supercars in Sydney and Brisbane, and then it's on Mate in Melbourne and Adelaide, and on 7/2 in Perth. Once again, check your local guides. If you are out during the day on Saturday and Sunday, you can catch full race replays on Speed TV from 7:30 p.m, and also note there'll be further replays throughout the week on Speed. Let's just recap the championship points here coming in to Symmons Plains, and it is the Red Bull Racing Australia duo of Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup leading the way from the Ford of Will Davison. Interesting to note that Shane van Gisbergen, he did win the second race in Adelaide, but is 9th in points. Also just outside the top 10, Rick Kelly and James Moffat in the all-new Nissans. A little bit more of a struggle for the Mercedes entries. They're down there on 18th with Lee Holsworth, who's only just in front of HRT's Garth Tander. So there are all the details ahead of this weekend's V8 Supercar action here at Symmons Plains. Remember to stay tuned to speedcafe.com for all the racing updates across the weekend.